Just some housekeeping items. If you find that either one of the toilets in the men or women's bathroom is overflowing or it's not flushing right, Dawn is now handling that for us. No, just no. I'm just kidding. I'm the guy who handles the shit here. Uh, uh, but no. But in all honesty, if you guys see it, even if it's not flushing right, let us know because we just prefer not to have it on the floor. So just watch those toilets and don't flush anything that isn't flushable. I don't know what that means, but just don't do it. Okay. Thank you. All right. We are going to start with Raina. Raina, welcome to the party. Yeah. Yeah. We can. Nick talked about poop again.
I don't know why you have to set me up that way, but okay. Cool things. Saw a lot of posts going around. First of all, I see some new faces. I'm Raina Russo with Cross Country Mortgage. Good morning. I ran in during the most tsunami part of the day, so my feet and my pants are soaked. Lovely. Anyways, I saw a couple posts going around yesterday about, of course, people's favorite topic lately, the settlement that's happening. And I saw one post in particular that said something along the lines of Annie and Freddie are ready to play. Yeah. Okay, well, that's actually nothing new. Way that if a buyer in the past wanted to pay commissions, they could. It wouldn't be deducted from the seller paid closing costs, the maximums or the limits that we have. So just a heads up, if you think that's new information, it's not. It's just business as usual. You as it's just clarifying it, but it's nothing new to the market, nothing new to be like, oh yeah, we're making progress. Nope, it's the same. Always been that way. If you have any questions on it or what the limits are on seller paid closing costs, of course, I'd be happy to answer those. Makes sense? Or do you have any questions on that if you saw some posts on it? Because I got a lot of phone calls. It's a good clear moment if you want to provide education. It's not new. Be sure you have the details when you're making a post about it or talking about it too. Everybody know what I'm talking about? Yes, no? Kinda. Got it. It is. Okay, but the next interesting topic, and I don't really like to talk about problems that are coming about in the market. This has been something that has been kind of an issue for listing agent and buyer's agents. What do you need to look for? Because there's always solutions. And I kind of like to bring things to education moments where people are coming to me, hey, Raina, I'm having this problem. Is there a solution? Yes, typically everything is figure outable, so to speak. So let's kind of talk about if you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent and you are financing a condo, do you need to be worried about that? Yes or no? Yes. Why, Lynn? Right. For associations can sometimes be heavily underinsured, which makes them not lendable by Fannie and Freddie. Well, there are other options to actually make them lendable with several different lenders. It's called non-warrantable condo financing, or some lenders, such as us, we have a portfolio option where it's just basically a privately insured mortgage. We don't sell it on the back end market, don't sell it to Fannie Freddie. Make sure that it still has some insurance and other things. For example, I have one right now that's not insurable because it has too much commercial space on the first level. Thumbs up, right? So we can actually complete that loan. It's a little bit higher risk. So we make the client have either 20 or 25% down. You know, it's not for your first time home buyers, things like that. But as a listing agent and a buyer's agent, this list shows you here are things that I can be looking for. If I'm going to list this association, this property in an association, I should call the association and really know will this property be an issue? I've had a client switch to me lately because their bank couldn't get it done. Well, first thing I had to do is look up on the Fannie Freddie list. Are they approved? Yes or no? Right away, the answer was no. You recently had a review. You were denied. Now, all the 287 units in this association are not Fannie Freddie eligible. They either have to be portfolioed or secured through a non-warrantable condo lender. It can be kind of hard if you are a seller, especially at a lower price point. These prices were like 280. Okay, so deal breakers, if its answer of any of these is yes, this is a for sure no. Fannie Freddie can't do it. If they're new construction and the builder has control of the HOA, I've only ever seen this once before in my time as a lender, but it has happened. I'm not going to say it won't ever happen again. But in the caution area, these are kind of the biggest things that we are seeing. I see them a lot. I would say on average, once a week. Master insurance policy has a huge deductible. If it's over 5%, it's probably a no, but could be a yes if there's other things that are kind of offset. Here we go. More than 35% of the project is reserved for commercial space. You can sometimes get an exception through Fannie Freddie. I recently applied for one that I think is 37 or 39%. I got denied. It was a really quick no. It was almost like, yeah, you can apply for an exception. Give us $300 and we'll tell you no. Cool. I did that. Oh, and it was like a really fast no, like an hour. This one is really important. The HOA holds the lender responsible for more than 3 months of HOA dues. Sometimes when we get a questionnaire, we see quite a few properties that are behind on their HOA dues. And does everybody know that an association can request foreclosure if you're a certain amount behind on your HOA dues? Yes. Not a lot of homeowners know that. So that's kind of the first thing they stop paying. It's a big thing. Have you had any listings or buyers that have had these issues, and do you have questions? Yes. So if your client is an FHA buyer and the association is not on the FHA approved list, because there is also a separate FHA approved list, you can go through and get a one-time spot approval, which is only good for that particular unit. Client is buying unit 218. The only unit it's good for, it's not good as a blanket for the association. So we go through a couple things. We get a big questionnaire filled out. We get a copy of their insurance, a copy of their declarations, and then we send it to FHA direct so they can say, yes, we'll approve this one unit, or no, we won't. And we've had success on that. I wouldn't say every time, but we've had success on that. Biggest thing that kicks condos out of FHA approval is if there are too many rentals, or if the association is just lazy and they just didn't renew their approval, which actually happened a lot after kind of the COVID times, more than you would think. It's just an extra thing to be aware of for your clients if they're buying in an association, something to make sure that they really do check before they get all their hopes up, get their offer accepted, go through inspection, they're out the inspection money, and then the lender says, hey, wait, we have an insurance issue. This association might not be approved. It's just a quick check on the Fannie Freddie list. It takes a lender probably 15 seconds. And you can always reach out to my team too. Paula and Sean are really great about checking that really quick if you have a question. Yes. Yeah, we're actually moving along to closing really nicely there. So ever-changing lending, but lots of questions coming. So I figured I would bring that as an education moment today because maybe you're getting those same questions. Have any questions for me? No? Awesome. Have a good day.
All right, guys. So now we are going to talk briefly about change. Change is never easy. And oftentimes change happens. We feel some loss, and there's change that is going to be coming up that some of you already know, some of you don't. Didn't come up. I came here to work. When I came here to work 15 months ago, there was somebody that was consistently going above and beyond to do what she could to grow the market center, to make sure that our agents got the service that they needed, to make sure that all of you had your CE and your license remained active, and just a general overall commitment to us as an organization and you as individuals, me as the team leader. Jordan has found that she has some opportunities that have come her way, and these are good for her life and good for her professional development. And so Jordan will be taking that opportunity and spreading her wings to grow in a professional place. And we're grateful for that opportunity for you. Happy about it for us. No, Jordan, you have been such an integral part of our market center for so long. We're coming off of the Rosies, which were absolutely incredible. So we're grateful that this opportunity has presented itself, and so thankful for the time that you poured into our market center. Will be incredibly difficult to even get close to replacing. So the microphone is yours.
Thank you. Obviously, this is a very, very hard conversation to have because I love all of you so, so very much. And the relationships that I've built here have been amazing. And you guys are like my family. I'm not going to cry. But I do have an amazing opportunity that has presented itself, and I'm going to be taking it. And it's really hard to be away from you guys.
So tell us about EXP. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's something I've been thinking about for a while. It's going to really help advance my professional growth and my career path. And yeah, I'm excited, but also very, very sad and hard goodbyes to be had. So my last day here will be Monday the 29th. So I will be doing everything possible that I can to make this transition as easy as possible for everyone, you guys, our team, our lovely team, and you guys are going to be taken care of so well. I know that we have the best team ever and the best agents ever. So I really, really just want to let you know that love you all so much. This has been a really, really hard thing to talk about this week. And yeah, I'm just really, really grateful for the time that we've had together and for you guys letting me be silly and crazy and loud sometimes, and also just letting me be a part of your journey in real estate. So I love you all. I'm not going to cry more.
Thank you. She's not going to EXP. I told her.
So I have an opportunity with a wealth management firm, and I'm going to be working on their talent acquisition and development team, working on a team of 8, just helping them grow their company, doing a lot of stuff that I do here, calendar management, events, helping bring new people in, like I've helped a lot of you guys come in. So I think it'll align really well with what I'm good at. And yeah, they won't be as cool as you guys. So that's obvious.
I mean, we're realtors. How could they be any more cool? I threatened to find a room in the back and lock her in, but that seemed abusive and maybe a touch out of color today. So no, we're grateful for you. So what does that mean for us? It does mean that we have an opening or an opportunity that will be coming later today, right? Yeah. So you'll see the opportunity if you have somebody that is interested or somebody you think would be interested, please let us know, and we will get the information out to you about what we're going to do to fill this gap in our team. But we're in a good place. So thank you again, Jordan. And go ahead, Steve. I called Jake and I said, Bud, I mean, I know we really met for the first time in the last year, but is there any sway here? Oh, he said no. No, I mean, you guys, anytime that you see talent grow, which Jordan, you have in your time here, we have to embrace the reality that you have a big opportunity for you. And that's where we want to see you thrive as well, because you've done that for all of us. So once again, Jordan, thank you. All right, jumping to what is next. Forms classes. No. Yeah.
Not much to say. Come tomorrow. We're going to discuss disclosures.
And you guys, the last couple of weeks, I've gotten a lot of conversation, not just about the settlement and NAR, but also what we've talked about specifically is that show up for this. This is an enhancement of your professional tools. This is where you want to be today. All right. Let's talk a little bit about buyer agent mastery. How many of you have attended Carla's classes? All right. Trying to find out who would be the best. Just for those of you that have done it, have you found value in it? Yep. Okay. So what Carla and Michael Mayer have done and what they're going to do with this is they got really serious really quickly about building a better toolbox for you guys. And they're going to be launching it here. If you've already been in the courses, then you're not going to have to pay anything. If you want to jump into this buyer agent mastery course, it's what is it, $99? $97? $99. Okay. $99. If you've never participated before. Okay. If you have, then you're getting in free. And I would guess that I have enough pull that if you want to attend this for free, you probably could, but you got to know somebody. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. You guys, this is going to be a really, really good, very focused. You're going to get materials. You're going to get dialogue practices. You're going to get the dialogues that are working. And this is coming directly from Michael Mayer. So he's getting this from his larger audience, which encompasses team leaders and market centers, agents across the country. So guys, check this out. This is going to start this Thursday, April 18th, and this from 11 to noon. So show up, be here. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So how many of you saw this yesterday when I posted it on on our 55 of you saw it yesterday. 2 of you commented. Now listen, there really only one guy in here, 2 guys that 3, 4 guys that I don't want to, 5 maybe. But the rest of you, I will force you to do this. You guys, this is something that, why wouldn't you want to go to this? Hey, what if I gave it to you? What if I said right now, the first 10 hands that put their hands up got it for free? That's it. Stop. No, you got to put your hands back up. Hey, hold on. That's legitimate. Y'all get free tickets. Hold on. I got to take a picture so I know. All right. For those of you that didn't raise your hands.
Here I put my hands up.
Is that Gij? Who is that? Is that Gij? Martha.
No, Martha.
Martha, I will call you personally. We got to have a conversation. No. You guys, this is it. I try to do a lot of these speeches. We try to bring people up, but you guys, these are some of the biggest producers, not only here, but throughout the country. Hudson Warren, our bold coach, best bold coach I've ever had, bar none. And I've had great bold coaches. Todd Butzer, if you know Todd, he was originally in our region here. He's a fantastic guy. He's got a lot of energy and he delivers great value. Gene Rivers, we had him here. We had 155 people in the room. Jose Hilario talking about what he's doing in his, you guys, Trent Zimmer, Cindy Freud, Lindsay Bacciagalupo, Artemisa Boston, Eric Peterson, our very own Shane and Jason. $99. I think it's the best education you're going to get this year, and this is the best we've done. So you have until the end of today to reach out to myself or Rachel. For anybody that's online and anybody that's here, hate giving away free things. So does Rachel. If you look at her, her eyes are daggering to me right now. I'm worried I can't look at her, so I'm just going to look at Grant, brother. So you guys, this is it. We want to make a big push to this because we believe that this is one of those events that will allow you an opportunity to create some cross with other agents with Keller Williams. The other thing is this: bring somebody with us. Bring somebody with you that you know. Bring somebody that you think this is going to help, and we'll register them as well. So reach out to us. I have the picture here. You guys will get registered today. For the rest of you who didn't raise your hands, well, I don't know what to say to y'all. So who needs to hear more about this? Yeah, I didn't think so. Hey, let's bring our panel up. You guys, we have an incredibly distinguished panel today. And I know it is, well, you know, it was Women's History Month a while ago. I didn't mean to say that with as much disdain as I thought. We're eventually going to get real chairs for you guys. We're just going to try to see if you're acrobatic enough to sit on these ones.
Keep us on our toes, literally. Girl, let's on each other. I know, we know how to sell houses, but not sit in chairs.
Yes, I was gonna grab the other chair. So you guys, what we want to really do is we want to put a spotlight, and in this particular case, it just happens to be with these three amazing women, and they are doing incredible things in a market where they're outpacing not only our competition, they're outpacing the market itself. And we wanted to get them together today to share a little bit about what's working with them and a little bit so that you guys can have some ideas on what to implement, what is working, and how can you push through the current market conditions to find what it is you want. So I'm just going to go through in case there are a lot of new faces in here. So our illustrious panel, we'll start with on the end there, Meg Highland. So Meg is she comes from a powerhouse real estate family here in the Twin Cities, right? But Meg, tell us a little bit just about your history in real estate.
Sure. So next month, May, will be 21 years that I've been doing this. And I started with Keller 21 years ago. I did do a little loop kind of during 2007, 8, 9. I was really solidly planted in the foreclosure land, which wasn't my favorite, but did it. I was the productivity coach here for a while. And now we have a team of 7 people. I'm still full-time in production.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. All right, Lisa Purcell. Lisa, yay, come on, give it up. Lisa is you know, you're in the market center. I mean, it's about as much as I am. And so every single day grinding it out, making those phone calls. Tell us about how you got here.
So I also am a 20-year veteran in this industry. I started on a team at Coldwell Banker, actually, and then we came over to Keller, and then the downturn hit. And I was on my own and trying to figure out what the heck to do. And I saw there was lots of foreclosures out there. So I went after that market and did very well listing and selling foreclosures for a long time. I had a team of like 7, I think. And we had a big institutional investor. And then the market started getting good and my business went down. And then I've had an admin and been a solo agent for a while. So just been plugging away, trying to find my place again. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So many of you know Lynn because she is our broker. She is also one of our top producers. And Lynn, tell us a little bit about how you got here today. Not your electric car, but you personally.
Okay, so I've been in the business about 26 years. Bounced around for a while. When the market turned down, my way of surviving as I opened my own brokerage up by where I lived. Did that for a few years. That was a was a way, maybe not a good way, but it was a way to keep expenses minimal and keep my family, who I've got a lot of family in this business, all employed. I have a mother who reminds me that's my responsibility. Then I got offered the broker job here. I actually grew up in Shoreview, Roseville. So even though I don't live here, this is kind of still home stomping ground. I don't know. I do a lot of repeat business, a lot of past clients, a lot of referrals. I don't pound the pavement anymore. So I give a lot of credit to you guys that have to do that.
Awesome. Thank you, Lynn. All right, Lynn, I'm going to start with you just because you have the microphone, and I'm going to ask, all of our I'm going to ask all of our panelists this. How are you finding listings in today's market?
So Todd's class, the 36 touch, changed my career. I am not good at getting on the phone. I'm more of an introvert than you guys would realize. Even just adding recipe cards to my monthly plan. I get to these houses and they saved them. They tell me which recipe was their favorite. I think that's crazy, but it works. Those little things are huge. Trying to find past clients, maybe that we connected well with on Facebook. Just to, hey, happy birthday when it's your birthday, not doing a whole lot. The past clients have been huge. I also swore I wouldn't be a dinosaur in this industry, and man, that's a hard one to keep. But we have added Google to our arsenal, and we are getting listings off the Google local service ads. I was hiring a service to do it. They were doing fabulous. Then they stopped offering that service. I used a service that wasn't so wonderful. And now I'm finally just doing it on my own. So I know we could do more. I'm not good at the social media, but past clients, Google referrals, they're feeding us. My daughter, her business is starting to kick butt, and she's listing one today that's a past client. Got 2 withholds right now that are past clients. So stay in touch with those people.
Okay, so when Jordan asked me to be on this panel, I was like, why did you ask me to be on the panel? Simply because this past year plus has been very challenging. And she said, well, you had 3 listings in March and you had one, I think, in February too. And so you're really doing really well. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so she said, you just talk about that. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, the reason I had 3 listings in March and it feels like this year has really been a struggle is because, as Nick said, I show up every single day. So I show up every single day and do the work, and then eventually something pops. Do I want it to pop more often? Of course I do. So all the business that I have right now comes from a variety of different places. I do still have my bank relationships. So I have, one listing that is a bank-owned property. Because I know foreclosures really well, I also pursue people who are in foreclosure that haven't yet lost their house. So I had somebody contact me who I'd sent a letter to. And he had done a deal with an investor that didn't work out. And he basically just called me and said, I want you to sell my house. I'm like, okay, I'll be right over. And then I have pursued internet leads. Those are awful. However, I have pursued them, and I had a whole group of them that are like over a year old that I'm like, I'm never going to do anything with these. So I hired an ISA to call them, and that's all they do is call them. And every once in a while it'll be like, oh, here, want to talk to this person? We got them on the line. I'm like, okay. So I have one listing that is from that. And then for a while, I was pursuing divorce attorneys. I immersed myself into that world, got to know them one-on-one, went to all their networking events, and became known. I'm no longer actively pursuing that, but again, the residuals pay off. And so I've got a phone call. You're our agent. We've chosen you. Okay, great. That's awesome. And so I'll be listing that house next month. So that's it's my business.
Okay. So I will just be full disclosure. I do things differently. And it works for me. So maybe this will help you. I am a big believer that I don't like to spend any money I don't have to. But I have a pretty good system. So Lynn, like you said, whoever it was that changed your business watching Todd's 36 Touch, I have sort of two paths. One is completely, I have a system for my database and I work my database really consistently. I have been very dedicated to it for the last at least 7 years. I don't miss a week. So that for me is one thing you guys don't have to spend any money on. Just work your database, ask for referrals, continue to ask for referrals. Almost 100% of my business is past clients and referrals. I don't have to spend money on that. That's one thing. The second thing is I feel like, so I went to a class, I can't remember, maybe 7 years ago. And there was a guy named Tony Giordano, who is, I think, out of Beverly Hills-ish. And he has a book that is called The Social Agent. That changed my entire business. I went from pretty consistently doing 15, 20 deals a year to 50, 60 deals a year. And social media is free. So I believe, and I always tell this to my team, that you should be able to do this job. And this isn't always the easiest way. You should be able to do this job without having a car, without having an internet, and without having a phone. You don't need any of those things. Just get on your feet and start walking your neighborhood and talk to people. Will change the way you do business. Obviously, it's nice to have internet leads. I just don't want to pay for those. That's just me. I would prefer to not have to give up half of my commission to somebody else. So that's a big part for me. Sure. Well, we started, so for those of you who don't follow me on social media, during COVID, that was really when we started. My team, we started promoting businesses in our each individual area. So I live in Highland Park. So I would go to different businesses, whether it was a restaurant or whatever, a pharmacy, places that were maybe having to shutter or their hours were significantly different or their income was dropping because of COVID. And B, I think initially, at least I did, I don't know, for those of you who are here during COVID, I was thinking we were going to be in the same position, like, oh boy, we're not going to have anything to do with this. And it was obviously not that at all. So we tried to couple our business with theirs. And so we would do promotional videos about businesses in our area with no expectation we would get anything back. But it was another connection to the neighborhood. It was another connection to somebody maybe I'd never met. Born and raised in St. Paul. And so those of you who are born and raised in St. Paul, you know, we never leave St. Paul, but there's still a fair amount of people I've never met. And so it really was an opportunity to get into that space where I could maybe meet somebody new that I never had and just promote them. And if something came of it, awesome. If nothing did, that was not our expectation. It wasn't my expectation anyway.
Right? Is that coming from contribution, coming in a way where you're being authentic to you and it's somebody you like, or it's a restaurant you like, or an area you like. People are more interested in that than they are you talking about the NAR settlement. You know, I mean, in all honesty, that's it. Meg, we'll stay with you. So how are you winning in your listing appointments right now? What conversations are you having that are helping you win more listings?
Well, I think, again, I mean, I think we're all in a nice position that maybe not everybody, I think being in the business for 20 years, I have some ability to use my own statistics to sort of land on. I think the reality of the situation is that I have a leg up because I'm being introduced by a past client.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in competition, I already think that I have a little bit of a leg up in that regard because it's somebody that had a good experience with me. So I think starting there, but one of the things that I have always tried to implement, and sometimes it's really hard and it's a little bit awkward, but what I try to implement is throughout the conversation of a transaction. So if I'm working with a client, I am trying to ask for those referrals throughout the process, not just at the closing or, hey, at the end of the closing, by the way, I'm trying to like plant that seed throughout. And I've just kind of gotten myself into a process where after something really good happens, I ask for a referral. So after they've gotten through the inspection and maybe they've gotten some money or they've gotten repairs, hey, this would be a good time to ask for a referral or a review or whatever. After the appraisal comes back or we negotiated something that was kind of hard, that's when I would ask for a referral or a review. So I'm trying to sort of plant that seed so it's not weird. And then the other thing that I have the benefit, and this is you all, this is something I think that really works for me is working that database. It's not just about getting clients now. It's to your point, it's birthday cards, anniversary cards, checking in. I call my database for sure 4 times a year. I talk with them 4 times a year. But I also, it's emails and it's cards and it's thank yous. And every time we get a referral from somebody, whether it comes to fruition or not, we send a gift card for the thank you. That's really where I spend my money. That's about it.
I love that. I love that. You guys, we're gonna move on to Lisa's answer here. But one of the things that I think that you're hearing, and I want to challenge you, is that what you're hearing are the activities of top producers. They're not superlatives like I have billboards all over town, right? It's not that. It's about the relationships and about the consistency of focusing on that. Who do you know? Who are you talking to? If you go through 3 days and you didn't talk to anybody, I can sure as hell, I know you're not going to be up here. Does that make sense? What sets these women apart right now, these professionals, is they consistently, for the course of their career, have done what was necessary in order for them to eat, right? And has call nights when her numbers start to look low. She locks herself into a room and tells her husband to go out, and she calls dialing for dollars, is what you call it, right? Dialing for dollars. And she dialing. Yeah, dialing. Yeah. So go ahead, Lisa, and I'll step out. Let's come back.
How am I winning in today's market? So the thing that I didn't point out when I said where I get all my business from is that I really do focus on the distressed market. So who has to sell right now when 70% of people have an interest rate 4% or less? The people that have to sell are highly motivated. They're in foreclosure. They're getting a divorce. Maybe there was a death in the family. Or they're relocated for work, right? So there is a very strong reason why they have to move. So how I'm winning is that I've specialized in those areas. So I have a very strong knowledge of foreclosures, and people know me for that. I have agents all the time that come to me, hey, I got this situation, blah, 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 because they know that's a specialty of mine. I immersed myself in the divorce attorney market. So now family law attorneys know that I understand divorce. It's not just selling a house, but what are the legal ramifications for them? What is the process they're going through? What are the emotional states that they're in? How do you actually handle that? So I understand those things. And so attorneys know that I know what I'm doing. And then recently I had a situation with a bankruptcy. And so I had to talk to the bankruptcy attorney and I said, hey, do you have an agent that you give referrals to? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then I shared a little bit about me and she's like, send me your contact info. And then she replies, so I have this situation. Is this something that would fit for you? And I said, absolutely. So again, it's like, you can specialize in a neighborhood, you could specialize in whatever it is you specialize in, but because I've done that and I'm known for that, and when that situation comes up, then I'm the one they think of.
I'm not used to this. Okay, so my brother says we have to have 3 legs on our chair. And no chair can stand without 3 legs. So I say my past clients, my referrals, and I count Google as my internet leads. I'm good at turning those calls. I am really bad at turning a Facebook message or anything that's texting me. It ain't happening. You call me, we're going to have an appointment. Don't be afraid to use the people in this room. The other night at the Rosie's, I had a really hard listing to try to nail and get the price on. And I had some really good advice from a couple of really good agents here. And you know what? We nailed the price and we got the listing. I know I was up against 4 other agents. I had to have enough confidence in me being true to myself to tell those people, hey, I'm not ready to give you the price. It won't be fair to you or me. I got to go back home and do my homework and get back to you. That was okay. It gave me another appointment to come out. And when we explained how we came up with the price and she pulled out her old appraisal, it's really weird. Our numbers were on the spot. So you know what? Don't be afraid to say, I need a minute. Want to make sure I'm doing this right. It's to your benefit that I'm doing it right. Got the experience to do it right, or I got the people behind me to help me get it right. This room is fabulous for that. I've never been in a brokerage that's so good for that. And people don't realize sometimes I do need a little assistance too. I do what Nick said. I do not like getting on the phone. It is my least favorite thing to do. I have never done a call night here. I will not make phone calls in front of people. It is not my thing. But I know that I have to have a piece of paper signed every 10 days to make a living. I don't care if it's a listing contract or a purchase agreement. Every 10 days, I need one. That ensures I have 2 closings a month and most months 3. Okay. I do the 10-day thing in my head. How long's it been? Did I get 2 of them last week? Fabulous. Let's go camping this weekend. Reward yourself or you burn out. If I'm not hitting those numbers, I do. On Thursday night, I tell my husband, I think you need to go out with your guys. And I sit home and I make like 3 hours of phone calls. And when he gets home, he'll say, so how many appointments do you have for the weekend? And I will. It always happens. Who am I calling? Anyone that in the last 12 months has maybe indicated that they think they might want to buy or sell. My database, online referrals, or I've got a referral partner, I guess you'd call it that. I get quite a bit from any kind of Google leads. I just, hey, you know what? 6 months ago, you were thinking about selling. What's it look like now? Lisa's right. There are people that have to sell. Sister, the closer, she says right now the dead are all selling. We've had a lot of probates, and those are the probates has been what most of my Google leads have been. Kids live out of state and they're Googling to see who the local agent is. And I'm popping up. I market to the area around where I live on Google. And most of those leads have been probates. I haven't even met some of the people that are signing the documents because they don't want to come up here. Who do you know that can trash out the house? Do you think I could sell it with all the furniture? I've signed up for Google to right now. I pay up to $200 a week for Google leads. I like them because they only charge you if you get the call. So if a week goes by and we don't get the call, we don't pay it. Probably going to up my budget because we're really good at turning them. My daughter is really, really social. I am not. So we partner with each other, and my brother will partner with me, and we tag team off each other's good parts. Got a client right now. It's my past client. I was shocked. She called me because we never really clicked. But they're moving out of state. They wanted to work with someone they'd worked with before, went out, did the listing appointment. He came with, he made her an Excel spreadsheet. You know, that's not me. She wanted to hug him. She was so excited that she could get her Excel spreadsheet. So try to read into who your people are. And if you need some help filling that need, ask for some help. I don't know.
Awesome. All right. So Lynn, since you have the mic, what does your listing prep look like? What do you do? What do you do in preparation to go on a listing appointment?
If I've never been to the house and I don't know the people, that first phone call is really, really important. And I ask them to rate their house. What things have you done to your home since you purchased it? I can see the old listing on the MLS. And they'll start telling you, well, you know, I haven't really done much. Or they'll tell you they did everything. And at the end, I ask them to rate their house a 1 to 10. 10 being new construction, 1 being down and dirty foreclosure. Where do you think your house falls? People are a little bit more honest with that. And they're a little bit more critical of themselves. So if they tell me they got a 10, I'm expecting it to shine. But most people are going to probably tell me a 7 because there's going to be something they never got to. And sometimes you get someone who's in a distressed sale that says, hey, I'm at the bottom of the barrel. I need to know what I can do to maybe get a little more without putting a lot of money into it. So we try to schedule it always as a 2-stop appointment, but I'm always ready for the 1-stop. I'm going to have my comps pulled. I'm going to have my iPad with in case we got to reevaluate what I pulled for comps. I'm going to have every piece of listing paperwork printed in paper. Not that I'm going to send it to them for e-sign. I want to leave with a signature. And I'm ready at that first appointment, even if I've never seen the house. I've got a search set up on my iPad. We can sit there together for 30 minutes if we have to and pull the comps in the neighborhood. But ideally, I've set the expectation that we're going to do it in a 2-stop appointment, and we're going to come in. And when I say we, my brother, we're going to come in and tell you what we need to have done to the house to make it ready. What's going to affect someone else's financing. You have peeling paint. I'm there to listen to them. The red flags, have you been married? Have you divorced? Have you filed bankruptcy? How many times have you refinanced your house? Anything. They'll tell you things that you never thought you'd hear. Take note of those things because sometimes your closer needs to know those things. If they tell you, hey, we just put down new carpet, awesome. My note says we need a lien waiver. You know, brand new appliances in the kitchen, fabulous. Are they on your Best Buy charge card? We want to know those things because those things are going to come up when you do your net sheet. We always come with a net sheet, 3 columns, sometimes 2 of them if we're really not sure where the price is going to be till we walk in. We, 300, 310, 320. You think it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. Greg will usually have one 280, 290, 300 in his briefcase because if it ain't as good as they said it is, we want to be prepared for that too. So experience plays into that. I always find I'm more successful with the two appointment listing.
What do I do to prepare? Similar to Lynn, I do a lot of research. So when I have them on the phone, I'm asking about their house. I'm asking where they want to move to. And you can kind of get the idea of like, they've done work, they haven't done work, and you never really know till you show up. I don't do that rate your house thing, but that's interesting, because some people think their house is in really good shape and you get there and you're like, so yes, I do my research, learn about the house, find the comps. Sometimes I'll actually go drive the comps. Sometimes I'll actually go into actives in the neighborhood. because I specialize not in a geographic area, but a like particular type of listing, I sell all over, and I mean all over. So I don't always, intimately know the area. So I have to learn it before I go. And so sometimes like then I'll go ahead of time and go drive the comps. Like I think this is a comp, or I'll drive by the house and then I'll drive by the comp. I think this is a comp. Okay, why is that one selling for that? And then this one is selling for this. I'll ask other agents that I know may know that area better. And just, hey, can I pick your brain? And, most of them, if they're from Keller, are willing to talk to you. Or even if they're not from Keller, I'll like, if there's a sold comp that I think that is a good comp, like I'll call them and I'll say, so tell me about this house. Why did it sell for this? And so I'll learn more about it. So when I do go, I'm completely prepared. To have that conversation and kind of figure out, where the pricing needs to be and what we need to do. And because I do deal with distress, a lot of times they don't have money to do things. And that's okay. Like you just have to be able to price it correctly. Will tell you something though, this wasn't part of your question, that I've found in this market that I've learned kind of the hard way is just because everything is selling and flying off the shelf doesn't mean that everything is selling and flying off the shelf. If your house isn't show ready and you price it at the top of the market, which I have done, it will sit. So don't let that fool you, that you still have to be priced for the condition of the house.
I follow the same process with Lynn in terms of the scale of 1 to 10, but I do it a little bit in reverse. I'll ask them right out of the gate on a scale of 1 to 10. You know your house better than I do. Where do you think you land? It's almost always 7 or 8. Almost always. Then my response is, what does your house need in order to make it a 10? And the reason being is then they can tell me, I don't have to be the bad guy that has to tell them, you got to do this. They already kind of know, to your point, they know. So they think that's a big part. I think it's just my opinion. I think that the listing is won in the original conversation you have on the phone. I think that the more you let a person, any person, talk about themselves, the more they like you. So I spend a ton of time on the phone asking the questions. 1, because I want them to like me better. 2, I already know the objection that's coming my way before I sit down. So if the conversation is, hey, what do you charge for commission? I already know that's going to be something I'm going to have to deal with when I sit down with them. So I think asking as many questions up front, there's a saying when you're dealing with buyers, I'd rather ask you 500 questions than show you 500 houses. It's the same scenario with a listing. Ask as many questions. Have you ever thought about selling it by yourself? It's like the worst question to ask because they might say yes. But then that's an objection you're going to deal with. So even if it's a hard question, ask it. You're going to do way better when you actually sit down. So I'm the same. I'm not detailed, but I have a lot of data. I definitely have all of the houses in the area. And I have sort of 2 seats side by side. One is specific to this house. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, this many square feet. And then I have everything else that's within a quarter mile. So that when because it'll inevitably come up, well, my neighbor's house sold for whatever. And then you look at it and you're like, yeah, but that was 3 times the size and it was 20 years newer. And you already know the information. So I don't feel like I need to know the neighborhood perfectly. I just need to know enough to know what they're going to object to or what are they going to say to me. So that's my thing, is just know as much as you can about the person and the property before you walk in. And if you let them talk, the other thing, I don't want to like ramble on, but I will tell you, I had a sales coach back in my very first commission job that was not in real estate, but his deal was, if you sit down with a person and you let them talk, just keep going, get your small talk game on, because let them bring up business. Once they say, all right, let's get down to it, let's get into it, then they're ready. But the rest, they're waiting to be warmed up. They're waiting for the relationship to be built. And if you've ever done the disc test, you know there's going to be a range of how fast that happens. I'm not a C person, in case you didn't know. I'm like, let's go, let's do it, let's do it now. But I have to be able to like slow it down and mirror what they're doing and hear what they're saying. When they're ready to get into business, then we get into business.
All right, guys. So in closing, what are any other tips and tricks you would like to share? I want to, before we go there, I want to get back to this, and I want this to stick so that there's something you can implement. So what is something that you guys have heard from any of our panelists so far that you can implement, you can use to improve your business? Holy cow. Jen's not messing around today, y'all. She's got it on her phone. Peter, go ahead. Do the work. Use your resources. Use the people here as your allies. These people want you to succeed, and I want you to succeed at the same level as these three women, right? These aren't just, you guys, these aren't just real estate agents that come and go. These are people who not only want to pour into you, but pour into their clients, and very thoughtful about the relationships they have and the things that they do on a day-to-day basis. Business is tough. It's not, there are times where it's tougher and there are times where it's easier. The three women you're looking at as leaders in our brokerage, in our market center, they didn't stop working, start working, or adjust it. They just continue to do the things that work for them and continuing to dig deeper into that. So if you don't have that, let's have a conversation. But I would guess that many of you do have a passion for what we're doing, and you know what's preventing you from achieving the same level of success. Do you know what these women don't have that a lot of our agents do have? An excuse. What is your excuse that's preventing you from being one of these people? You didn't have an excuse. The market sucks. The interest rates are up. And guess what? You guys are still selling homes. You're still listing homes. You're still working with buyers. We always think that when the market ends because, oh, it's so hard for me, that everybody's experiencing it the same way. And they're not experiencing it the same way that some of you are. They're not, because they're willing to have the question, excuse me, willing to have the conversation. They're willing to go into restaurants and say, let me film here today with the anticipation that it might never lead anywhere, but they still did it. So what things in your business are you avoiding because you're not willing to step up and do the things that it takes to do in order to have what you don't have currently? And that isn't a slap in the face. Some of you are busting your ass. Some of it is what Lisa said. It's the patience of understanding you're filling the funnel and that it might not be today. But if you do the work consistently, eventually something pops and you go, shit, man, that's what I needed. That's what I needed to just keep moving forward, because it is there. It just might not be there today because numbers are down. The transaction figures are. All right, we're going to end with this, you guys. What is a tip or a trick you'd like to leave, a hack that you'd like to leave the group with today? And it could be anything. There's no specific requirement.
But one specific thing, I think it is, well, I have two. I have no specific two. One is be consistent. Get a system that works for you. I don't do things the same as everybody else. You don't have to either. Do what works for you and what you'll do. The best source for lead gen is what you will actually do every day.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what anybody else does. I won't door knock. I don't want to. I'll pick up the phone though, where other people are the opposite. Whatever the thing is that you're really good at and you are willing to do consistently, and you'll.
That was going to be my thing. Basically, these two ladies talked about database. I talked about having a specialization. It doesn't really matter what you do. That's the thing. This business, like, it looks like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh, no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. There's so many different directions you could go. Chad does commercial, like I entertained commercial for a while. Just find something that's of interest to you and go there. Just do something.
Okay, I live on the 3 legs to a chair because it makes sense to me. I'm very visual. The other thing I want to say is, you know what? you all have something that you do because you have fun, you enjoy, go bowling, you go dancing, you go out to dinner with friends. My daughter shows horses. Everyone's like, oh, horses are so expensive. And I kind of laugh and I say, yeah, but they feed themselves every year. Because everyone we are out there with knows, guess what? We sell real estate. And when you have someone that needs to buy or sell, will you please call us? Because beauty needs hay. And if I'm with horse people, they get that. Figure out who your people are and work them. You don't have to have them be the one that needs to buy or sell, but they got an aunt, they got a grandma, they got a brother, they got someone. And if they can relate to you on a personal level because you share a common interest, it's really easier to connect. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I bowl on Wednesday nights. Fabulous. Sponsor the bowling league. Everyone matching shirts. Can't tell you how many T-ball shirts I bought. I thought I was done when my kids were done, and then the grandkids came. Enjoy.
All right. First, thank you so much to our panel today. Thank you, guys. But I want to thank you not just for what you imparted. No, you guys can get up. I'll just keep talking anyways. But what I wanted to impart about our panel and what I want you guys to pick up is that what they said is true to them. They're producing, right? They're active. And you guys, I think so often when I talk to real estate agents, they will skip the consistency for a shiny object, right? And then they wonder why when they come to my office, why someone else outproduces them. Well, this person does, I think what I want to impart is each of you has the ability, each of you has the skill set, each of you has the tools, each of you has the support to do it, each of you has the models that we use. Whether or not you do this is the determinant of your success, and that's it. It's not me, it's not our brokerage. I wish it was, that would make it easier. It's you and your commitment to coming in when it's tough and coming in when it's easy. And that's where the difference, many of us, if you're struggling right now, I guarantee you can go to your calendar, go to your phone book in your phone, and you'll know right away where the it's either the amount of time you're spending doing it and not doing it, and the amount of people you're talking to. The producers that I meet with every single day, whether they're here at a different brokerage, the same thing rings true. What do you do in your business? Well, I call people. What do you do? I call people. What do you do? I call people. I get in front of people. I throw events with people. People. Hudson Warren said what? Talk to people. Say louder. To people and cash big checks. You have a great job. I think a lot of you and a lot of the people online, you're not understanding what Meg does, what Lynn does, what Janet does, what Lisa does on a consistent basis to beat it. It's not magic, it's just work. They're just doing their work and they're getting better. So that is where I'll leave it. We have lunch today provided by our great friend Raina, and it is in the back and it is ready to rock and roll. So have a wonderful week. Go kick some ass, go help somebody.